as a farmer, it's really hard. And it's a lot of work, and there's not a lot of wiggle room to make money. Buying eggs for me is going to be more expensive than the factory farm eggs that you buy in the grocery store. But the difference is the eggs you get from me are no longer older than 5 days old, and the eggs in the supermarket a month old.
I'm Matt Zucker, and this is Cidiot, learning to live and love life in the Hudson Valley. Today we're going to talk about two of my favorite and magical topics, farms and food. My guest is Pierre Fredericks, co-chair of Slow Food Hudson Valley and owner of Overlook Farms, a 120-acre farm of alpacas, chickens, guinea fowl, ducks, and pigs. I don't know if you've heard of the global slow food movement. We'll talk about it and how it got started, provoked by a McDonald's threatening to open in Rome near the Spanish Steps. The Hudson Valley Slow Food chapter is amazing, which makes sense considering the food basket we're lucky enough to live in. Slow food, as you'll hear from Pierre, is all about good, clean, fair food for all. Can't believe I didn't know anything about slow food until this year. So thank you, longtime listener Jacqui Rose, who invited Brian and me to a cookbook club event in September. We celebrated Chef Casey Lass's new cookbook, What Can I Bring?, by all bringing a dish made from his cookbook. We ate as a group at a big, long farmhouse table at the new Creative Legion in Hudson. Creative Legion, if you haven't heard of it, is a multi-use space for creatives, makers, artists, and entrepreneurs. And it's the very place where Pierre and I came back to record this conversation months later. We talk about his journey from New Orleans to Montauk and then to the Hudson Valley, from private chef to farmer. We talk about his favorite foods like stewed chicken gizzards, gumbos, and touffes. We talk a lot about animals, chickens, pigs, including a 500-pound pig named Bacon, and beautiful goofy alpacas, which Pierre calls living sculptures. Plus, I ask him about animal personalities and a deep dive into eggs. Guinea fowl eggs, I learned, have more protein than regular chicken eggs. And wait till you hear about egg-speriment, which will make you drive to his Kinderhook farm stand. More about slow food, the cooking clubs, the farm walks, and the types of events you'll want to go to. I also ask if farmers have social lives. The answer is yes. Thanks Creative Legion for hosting great events like Slow Food and letting me try out your swank podcast studio for this conversation with Pierre. We used my remote mics, which I'm still learning to use, and kind of a Cidiot with, but I'll get better. Pierre, at least, sounds perfect.
Down in the valley, moved up from the city. It's a new way of living and I'm trying to get used to it. 1 park blues, half an ounce of an idiot. Ordered a Manhattan and they call me a Cidiot. At first it hurt my feelings, but it's kinda got a ring to it. When you move to the country, they can tell when you're new to it. I'm looking at a place, but I'm trying to keep fitting in. It takes too long to be a local, so for now, I'm a Cidiot.
Hi, Pierre.
Hi, Matt.
Thanks for coming on Cidiot.
Oh, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so glad, too. And we're recording, actually, for everyone at Creative Legion, this amazing space in Hudson for creatives and makers and entrepreneurs.
It's a beautiful space, and we're very fortunate that they have partnered with us meaning Slow Food. They've been very generous to us in allowing us to use the space for different events.
Yeah, I think I met you at this event.
Right, yes, at one of our cookbook clubs here.
Oh my God, I love that event. It was so amazing. It was an author, and we all had to cook a dish out of his cookbook.
Correct.
And bring it. It was like a potluck dinner.
A potluck dinner out of one cookbook. So everybody signs up for what they want to cook out of the cookbook, and we share it all together. And we get the author to come and be a part of it all.
How often do you do events like that?
We do that quarterly.
Oh, nice.
We actually just did one with Mona Talbot from Talbot Larding. She has a book that she wrote with the American school in Rome when she was there with Alice Waters.
Wow.
And it's called Zuppa. And so it was a little different, this cookbook club, because everybody brought an ingredient that they signed up for.
Oh,
And we cooked together 2 different soups.
nice.
And we shared it, and we cooked like 20 gallons of soup, and what was left over, we packaged up in quart containers and sent to the free fridges in Hudson.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great experience. I'm coming to the next one too. That's great. Maybe a place to start also would be with your relationship to the Hudson Valley. I don't know if you're from here or...
No, I'm not from here. I'm originally from New Orleans.
Nice.
And I grew up on a farm just right outside of New Orleans. It's been a family farm that was in our family for several generations. And I ran from it as fast as I could and moved to New York.
New York City, or did you move here?
Originally, I moved to Montauk, Long Island. My first 3 years, I spent 6 months in Montauk and 6 months in New Orleans. And then I moved to the city, always had a home in Montauk, and did the weekend thing up there. And then I moved to the city, then East Hampton, and back and forth there. And it was, a great life. But my husband and I guess in 2018, moved to upstate New York. And I wanted a farm that I ran from as a kid. And so we bought a 120-acre farm here in East Chatham, New York. And growing up on my farm as a kid, we all had to have something that we were responsible for. So mine was chickens. My brother's was cattle. My younger sister was bees and pigs. So I built my first chicken coop, I guess I was about 9, 10 years ago. I had 200 chickens, and I sold the eggs to people in town. And even in East Hampton, I had 200 chickens and 100 guinea fowl on our property there.
What's the difference between a guinea fowl and a chicken?
A guinea fowl is from Africa. They're a dark meat bird. They're mostly black with white speckles, and they're kind of like the shape of a football. They don't have any feathers on their head. It's a funny little knot on top of their head. Looks like they've been hit on the head and got a big bump. And they're delicious eating. Interesting thing about a guinea fowl is their eggs are much smaller than a chicken egg, but they have 13 grams of protein where a chicken egg has 6.
Interesting. I'll tell Brian this. He'll be very interested.
Yeah.
Higher protein. Is it common to have guinea fowls up here?
I just love guinea fowls. People normally don't like them because they're very noisy, and they're actually quite comical because they'll run across the yard and be squawking, and then they'll just stop like, what am I running from? But a leaf could fall and it scares them. They're also, the nickname is a farmer's watchdog because of something that they don't recognize, they'll start squawking. They're not like chickens. They will not lay eggs in a nest. They will find something to bramble to go lay under. So when I have guinea fowl, I have to keep them in a pen good part of the day so that I can collect the eggs. And then I let them out because one thing guinea fowls are known for are eating ticks. They're voracious tick eaters.
So that's good, right?
That's great.
Yeah.
Because it keeps the tick population down. So at the farm, we raise meat birds, chickens for meat. For eggs, we have guinea fowl, ducks that we use for eggs, and pigs, and alpacas, and dogs, and cats.
Alpacas, like what do you do with them?
We inherited the alpaca.
They're goofy. I mean, they're fun.
Yeah, they're beautiful. I consider them living sculptures out in the pasture. We inherited them when we bought the farm. The unfortunate thing about them, the older they get, their fleece deteriorates. So their fleece is not really good to sell or anything.
So who's the biggest personality?
Who's the biggest personality? I would have to say I have a pig by the name of Bacon.
Oh.
Yes, Bacon. She's the biggest personality. She's my baby. She's about 500 pounds. And when I got our first pigs, I drove home with them, and my husband comes running out the house. Where's Bacon, Pork Chop, and Ham Hock? So they each got assigned those names. Unfortunately, Ham Hock and pork chop are no longer with us. They were delicious.
How long? Oh, I was about to ask how long pigs live, but maybe that's up to you.
I don't know the answer naturally how long they live. Bacon's about ready to retire she's going to have her last litter now, and she's going to retire, but she's my girl.
Yeah.
She's not going away.
And you said you just had some grandpigs?
Yes, I had
I saw some pictures.
some piglets recently, and those all are going to be going off to harvest in the spring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do pigs grow up that fast?
You want to send them 6 to 8 months. 250 pounds is ideal to send them off. These are going to go a little sooner because they're going to be for a pig roast, so you want a smaller pig.
What about intelligence? People often talk about like pigs being smart.
Oh, they're smart. They're very smart.
How do they show it? What are they? Is it memory? Is it?
It's like, I have a Mangalisa pig. Her name is Buttercup. And I call her and she'll come. So they're a little ornery, but they do realize, what you're saying, and they recognize, they know the rhythm of things.
And what about the land here in the Hudson Valley? Maybe you could compare it to New Orleans or even to Montauk. I just would think it's very different. It's supposedly very coveted, but how do you see it as a farmer? What was the experience like for you switching land?
Where we are is different because we're very high up.
Oh, right, Overlook Farms.
Yeah, it's very shaly, and there's a lot of rocks and stuff. Down closer to the river, you have more stuff from over the years from the river.
How did you decide to build a farm up in the sky?
Up in the sky? Well, I'm not looking to grow vegetables. So I raise animals, and it's fine for pastures. I do have a small garden for us, but not to go to farmers market and sell produce. I mean, down in New Orleans, come on, you got the Mississippi River with the soil and all from down there. So it's...
And how does the business work? Do you have like a farm store, or do you distribute other places?
I do farmers markets, and I do have regular clients that I do deliver to.
Which farmers markets do you do?
I do the Kinderhook Farmers Market and the Chatham Farmers Market.
Nice.
And also I do a big wholesale business. Pierre and New York City, they get about 500 dozen eggs from me a week.
Wow, that's a good contract.
Yes, it is.
That's a
I love them.
Those are
Talbot Narding buy a lot of eggs, Quinny's, OK Pantry. So I do a lot of wholesale. Rigger Hill Market in the city buys eggs from me.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. I also wanted to ask you about the slow food movement in Slow Food Hudson Valley, because I've been looking it up, and I heard the story about it started with the McDonald's by the Spanish Steps or something, and then it makes sense why it's big here. But maybe how did you get involved in that, or tell the listeners about what Slow Food Hudson Valley is?
Like you said, it did start in Italy in the 80s by a gentleman by the name of Carlo Petrini, and it was McDonald's being built across from the Spanish Steps. And so there was a big protest about, we don't want fast food, we want slow food. I originally got involved with slow food. My first event was a friend took me to a slow food dinner in the North Fork of Long Island, and I learned more about what they were about. So I got involved with the local chapter on the east end of Long Island, and it was just getting started. And I became a volunteer with them and eventually became a board member. I was the treasurer, then vice chair, and then chair. And one thing we did out there, we worked with school gardens. That was our big thing. When I left, we were supporting 32 school gardens on the North and South Fork of Long Island. It is. And some of them we helped get greenhouses. Some of them were just getting started with raised beds. Some of them had outdoor classrooms in their gardens, and it was used by multiple curriculums. We partnered with like-minded organizations to help build the chapter. And we raised quite a bit of money that we were able to support these gardens. Through being on the board of Slow Food East, and once a year we would have a statewide gathering of the slow food chapters throughout the state. And I met the people from Slow Food Hudson Valley, and we became friendly. And then when I moved up here, I became, at the time they called us governors, but now we're councils for Slow Food USA. So I'm counsel for Slow Food USA for upstate New York.
Nice.
In that role, we help chapters get started. We help chapters grow. So when I moved up here, the pandemic came, collapsed everything. The Slow Food Hudson Valley chapter was just falling apart. I worked with them and I took it over, and it was more down Poughkeepsie way. A lot of the people who started it were from the CIA, and it was somewhat involved.
For listeners, that's the Culinary Institute, not the other one.
Yes. Yes. Yes, in Hyde Park.
I mean, I found out about it through Jacqui Rose, who's a listener
Right.
of Cidiot, who's, I think, on your board. And she invited me and Brian recently to that event here, actually here at Creative Legion. Then we came to another one, the Ellis Waters event, which was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I was really grateful that she got us involved. But that's a big region. So is it one giant chapter for the Hudson Valley?
It really should be multiple chapters,
Right.
because you got the river that divides us. So it should be
Yeah.
a chapter on the
Castle
west,
side.
yeah, and the east side of the river. So it is from there's Metro North, so that kind of takes up Putnam County and Westchester, and then Dutchess, Columbia County. So we are that area. And we do events over across Kingston Way.
Yeah, so is it basically quarterly events like the cookbook thing and then things in between, or how does it work?
We do events about monthly,
Oh.
and they're all on just the cookbook clubs. The cookbook clubs we just do quarterly.
Yeah,
But
post a link to it in the show notes.
we do educational things. At Montgomery Place with Susan Cipollini, we did a cheese making class.
Yeah.
We do farm walks. Last winter we did a farm walk at Kinderhook Farms, where we got to walk out in the pastures and talk to the farmers and see what happens in the wintertime. I mean, it was like a snowy, cold day, and we all bundled up. And it was funny because we walked up this big hill and they had sleds up the top that we all got to slide down the hill. So it was a lot of fun. But we got to see what happens in the wintertime and how they manage the animals in the winter.
Is it a lot of farmers like you, or is it a lot of farm fetishizers like me?
It's people who just want to learn more about where their food comes, how it's raised. It's not necessarily farmers, but it's people who want to know more about farming. And a good part of slow food is about good, clean, fair food for all. So it's good for us to eat. It tastes good. It's local, clean. It's clean for the environment. It's clean for us. And fair. It's a fair wage for the workers. It's a fair wage for the farmers. It's a fair price for the consumers.
How would I know if something's fair or not? Should I just assume if I go to a farm store, it's probably fair?
I think it's fair because honestly, as a farmer now, I've been in the restaurant business my whole life. In 2018, we bought the farm. But now, as a farmer, it's really hard. It's a lot of work, and there's not a lot of wiggle room to make money. So buying eggs for me is going to be more expensive than the factory farm eggs that you buy in the grocery store. But the difference is the eggs you get from me are no longer older than 5 days old. And the eggs in the supermarket are a month old. And there's ways that you can test to see how old an egg is. If you hard boil an egg and you crack it open and you get a flat end, that's because eggs are porous and the white evaporates.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's an air pocket. So if you take an egg and put it in a bowl of water, it should lay horizontal. If it starts tilting up, it is getting older. So the more it tilts up, and then eventually it will float up to the top of the water.
Wow.
Vertically. So that's how you test to see how old an egg is.
Oh, that's cool.
Eggs do last a while.
Question, fridge or no fridge?
I was getting ready to go right there, but okay. Eggs, when they're laid, and if you see an egg when it's just laid, there's a wet coating on it. So they put a coating on the eggs that kind of seal them up. We have to wash our eggs to sell them. Then they have to be refrigerated. But as long as I don't wash that coating off, I can just put them on the counter.
So when I buy them then, should I put them in the fridge or should I leave them?
Yes, unless you know they haven't been washed.
Oh, got it. Okay, I didn't get that. Are there other like mistakes that you see like Cidiots or newcomers make when it comes to buying local or buying from farms?
The biggest thing is get to know your farmer. Some of my friends I've developed are customers, and it's just how we have a relationship. And I see them weekly, we talk, and it's important to know where your food comes from and how it's raised.
Yeah. I mean, I got to know Northwind Farms. They were on the show. And Callie from Saltkill Farm in Red Hook. She taught me a lot about her eggs, and they were delicious because they eat the bugs. And that was her secret. Hey, Cidiots, it's Matt. Thanks for listening to Season 9. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm looking for a couple things. One is a sponsor or two for this new season. So definitely let me know if you can recommend anyone or if you're interested. I also just launched my new Substack called Sugar and Spice, which talks a lot about being a Cidiot, but also marketing and memoir and other things that start with M. So look for it at mattzucker.substack.com. Okay, be sure to sign up for the Cidiot newsletter as well. That's cidiot.com. And let me know what you think you should hear more of this season. And most of all, come visit. When's the best time to make plans with a farmer? You guys are working so much. So if we needed to have a dinner party, would it be like a Tuesday night in the winter? Or would it be, how do you be friends with a farmer?
How do you be friends?
Or do I just visit you every week at the farm stand?
We do have social lives. And the nice thing about winter, especially we have 3,500 chickens. So
You do?
3,500 chickens. Everybody gets to go outside and be chickens. So it's like you get to eat your bugs, you get to go out and scratch in the ground, you get to go out and have dust baths. And then at night you get locked up because we've got to keep you away from the coyotes and the foxes and the possums and raccoons and weasels and whatever. The good thing about wintertime is the sun sets at 4:30 and the chickens go to bed at 4:30. And the summertime, 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's the hard thing with chickens is getting them to go in and go to bed.
So you've got to be on duty until sunset.
We do. At Overlook Farms, we have livestock guardian dogs that live with the chickens. And so those houses, we're a little more lenient with locking them up. So if we do go out to dinner, we know they're somewhat protected because the dogs are there protecting them. So we do have social lives.
And with Slow Food Hudson Valley, what's the best way for someone to get involved?
You can volunteer. You can come to the events. You can check us out on Instagram, Slow Food Hudson Valley, or on our website, slowfoodhudsonvalley.org. And we always have exciting events. We actually, in February, we're having Beekeeping 101, an introduction to beekeeping, and that's going to take place at the Kinderhook Library with master beekeeper Paul McPhail. He's from Bee Hollow Farms in Kinderhook. He's just going to do a talk and presentation on keeping bees. April 26th, we're having our big fundraiser. It's going to be at Liberty Farms. It's called Wild Hudson Valley. So it's going to be based around spring foraging with a pig roast.
Oh.
So we're going to have a couple of
But not bacon.
Not bacon. No, bacon's too big. These are going to be smaller, suckling pigs. And the pigs are coming from Overlook Farms.
What do you fundraise for? I noticed at one of the events you were raising money for Columbia Kitchen, which is right near me, which is a food pantry or food delivery service.
One thing Slow Food Hudson Valley is focused on, and part of our mission is food insecurity.
Yeah.
So we have partnered with 3 different organizations, Columbia Kitchen, Long Table Harvest, and Duchess Outreach. So we've spread ourselves out through the area region. So back in December, we just gave $10,500 to these 3 organizations, which was needed at the time with all that's going on.
Sure.
We're looking to help start some school gardens in the area. So that's another thing we'll help support with the money that we raise.
Yeah.
I firmly believe in school gardens because, one, it teaches kids about growing food, where their food comes from, and it's another form of food insecurity that they know that they can go out and grow some food if they need to. And it's interesting to see kids. I've had kids come into a garden and pick sugar snap peas off and just bite into it and love it. And mothers going, they won't eat that at home.
It was for me too. I won this auction thing and I won a garden plot from Sam Rose in Red Hook. And so for a summer, I did this experiment where I tried to teach myself to garden in this community garden, which was great because a lot of people were helping me. And I did vegetables versus flowers. Who would survive, right? And actually everybody survived. I couldn't believe it, but my timing was terrible. I came to get the broccoli too late, so it was bitter. I didn't kill everything like I thought I was. It was a great experience. It changed my life. I'm basically a child.
You know, growing vegetables and cooking are kind of similar.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid of it. You just have to go into it. You'll make mistakes. You'll survive.
In terms of cooking, maybe because you're from New Orleans, so like if you were to make a dish.
I am a chef. Before I became a farmer, I was a chef.
So this is a good question for you then. If you were hosting a welcome to the neighborhood dinner for a group of new transplants, for Cidiots basically, what's a dish you might serve or a dinner to give them a true taste of this journey, this New Orleans, I guess Montauk too, and up here?
That's an interesting question.
I mean, you could just do takeout from Talbot and Arden too. That's what
Yeah, I could, but that's not what I would do. Whenever I would go home to New Orleans, my mother would ask me, what do I want her to cook for me? And my answer was always stewed chicken gizzards.
Stewed chicken gizzard.
That is one of my favorite things to eat, stewed chicken gizzards. They're so delicious. And I cook them all the time, and people make faces at it, and they taste it and love it.
Yeah, don't tell them what it is.
Well, it's obvious what it is. It's there. But that's my New Orleans thing.
Right.
As a chef, I was a private chef in the Hamptons for many years, and it was seasonal work usually for summer people out there that I worked for. But after cooking for 4 months for them and trying to come up with menus every day and be different, my default towards the end was always going home to Louisiana food. Gumbos, etouffees.
What's etouffee?
Etouffee it's a kind of a tomato-based seafood dish. And one of my favorite things that I just cooked up here for Slow Food does a cookie swap each December. And this year I added a component to the cookie swap. We had 2 different types of gumbos that I made. I made a chicken gumbo with andouille sausage. And then I made something that's very Louisiana. It's called gumbo zab. And it is a vegetarian dish, which is usually something we serve at Lent when you're not supposed to eat meat. And it's made with either 5 or 7 different types of greens. Mustards, collards, kale, Swiss chard, whatever type of greens you can get, you just cook it all together.
Wow.
With onions and peppers, and you just stew it, and then you puree it, and you serve it over rice with filet powder. And it is so delicious.
So hungry now.
It is so delicious. My favorite version is to do it not as a vegetarian dish, but to do it with andouille sausage. And that's all pureed. And it really does, with the andouille sausage, somehow it picks up mock seafood gumbo flavor.
Nice.
And all this is served over rice. I'm a big rice eater. That's what we grew up with down in Louisiana, is rice.
Oh, that's great, because I'm gluten-free, so rice is helpful. So at farmers markets, what's your advice for people to go? Because it's often like a thing you do on a weekend, you know?
Well, I think the most important thing is to do it on a regular basis. The difference is, going to the farmer's market, I have a farm that I barter eggs for, and they give me bags of greens, Mexican greens. And those greens I get will last me, stay very fresh for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and they're just as good as they were when I brought them home because they were just cut. So you can buy and things last longer, but it's about building those relationships. Make it part of your weekly routine to go and enjoy the community. I mean, a lot of farmers markets have music, have food that you can buy. So make it an event.
It's a lot of time for you guys to be standing there. It's like a huge amount of hours.
Yeah, it is, usually 4 hours. But the Troy Farmers Market is really a great farmers market. It's huge. There's a lot of food that you get. You have people coming in from out of town. Take the day ride up to the Troy Farmers Market. There's a lot of great food up there.
I do the Copic Hillsdale one a lot because I can walk my dog on roaches in the park.
Yeah, that's another great farmers market is the Hillsdale Farmers Market. They have a lot of great vendors. You can get food, prepared foods there. But also another important thing about farmers market, bring cash. Farmers, it's hard to make a living doing it. When we have to take credit cards and pay that 3 point whatever, that all adds up to us. It's taken away from our revenue. So bring cash or a check. Most farmers,
check?
I will take a check.
I don't want to be stuck behind the person writing a check.
Well, you don't want to be stuck to the person in front of me because I'm like chatting away. I have my whole egg spiel. But one thing, we were talking about the guinea fowl and chicken eggs and duck eggs. One of my big sellers is at the farmers market is an
Experiment.
egg experiment.
What is that?
You get 4 duck eggs, 4 chicken eggs, and 4 guinea hen eggs.
Oh, it's brilliant marketing.
And you can go home and have an egg-citing time. They're excellent. They're
You are good.
exceptional.
I would drive just for that.
My whole point in telling you about this is that I can chat forever, and people are like, come on, move, because they've heard the spiel before.
Yeah, you're a creative farmer though.
At my farmers markets, I do have a display with all the different eggs that I sell, and they're all cracked open, from quail eggs to goose eggs when I have goose eggs. Goose eggs don't last very long because
They're a little bigger, right? They're huge.
you know, they're big, but they only lay about 20 eggs a year.
Oh,
So once,
they're precious.
so once they're gone, but I do have a hollowed out one that I have there just as a display.
I'm going to get in the car and drive to experiment, get an experiment.
Yeah, but I just want to thank Melissa and Creative Legion for hosting us today, and they've been great supporters of Slow Food Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
They allow us to hold quite a few events here. We have one coming up in May here. It's another cookbook club with my friend Trinity Wolford. The name of the cookbook is Eating at Home, and it's basically about how simple it is to create a great meal at home. And, you know, if you buy local, one thing is you don't need to do a lot to the food. Let the food stand on its own. It's very Alice Waters. So that's happening on May 3rd here at Creative Legion. And
Yeah, I'll put links to Creative Legion as well as to Slow Food Hudson Valley and to Overlook Farms in the show notes.
Down in the valley, moved up from the city. It's a new way of living and I'm trying to get used to it. 1 pot noodles, half an ounce of an idiot. Ordered a Manhattan and they call me a Cidiot. At first I hurt my feelings, but it's kinda got a ring to it. When you move to the country, they can tell when you're new to it. I'm looking at a place, but I'm trying to keep fitting in. It takes too long to be a local, so for now I'm a Cidiot.